Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Life's Unfair, my Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous playthrough series. Today we're going to be heading on into the keep and taking on Minagho and Staunton Vhane and whatever horrors await us in here. And then hopefully after this episode we can move on to Act 3. So let's get started.
Not falter.
Alright, into the keep itself, nothing too crazy in here. First encounter itself is isn't too bad. You can see everyone has a debuff here that causes you to lose charisma if you fail a saving throw every 10 minutes. But I think it's bugged because if you go outside and rest, I think it goes away and then you don't have to deal with it or something, or I don't know what's going on. Like, I think it only affected my pet like once and one of my characters once. It barely ever actually did anything. So initially I thought it was going to be really hard to manage because it took me at least maybe 7+ hours to clear this place. 10 hours, I want to say. Almost 10 hours to clear this place. Just the inside of this. The outside was another 10 hours. So yeah, overall, actually it took more than 10 hours to clear the inside and a bit less than 10 hours to clear the outside. So, okay, after that initial encounter wasn't too tough, we run into Yaniel here, or somebody that I thought Yaniel was some epic fighter or angel or something. That doesn't look like Yaniel, but she claims to be. And we let her go. She's just an old woman that's chained up. I mean, I guess she's probably the right age to be Yaniel and everything. Pass the check and pick this up, which is pretty nice. 1 dodge bonus to AC. It's nice as a tanking weapon. So I do end up using that. I only recently switched from that into something better. So right outside Yaniel's room, there's a set of demons here, Babaus and Schirs and all that. They're not too tough, honestly speaking. I was just surprised by them the first time we ran into them, and they killed me, but we got them on the second attempt, I believe. The casters are a bit of a problem, but yeah, it's not too bad. So we take those guys out, and then, trigger a cutscene. And this is the first time I've run into a chest that's actually trapped. It says, you can see when Arushale walked up to it, it got highlighted in pink, which indicates that it's trapped. And yeah, she's able to disarm it and loot a nice crown. Next encounter here is just a Minotaur. As you can see, a Razor Fiend is a beast mode tank. He's not even getting hit. Or he's barely getting hit. But the Minotaurs are scary because even though they don't land many hits, when they do land hits, the hits hurt a lot. Able to take him out without too much trouble, and then yeah, just proceeding on. So in here there's some basically lore checks that you have to pass. I think basically one of every type of lore, and if you fail the checks, it spawns a bunch of ghosts and they kick your ass. Yeah. So I had a bit of a problem here. I forgot about the signet of house, whatever, that gives you a +5 on whatever check you want. But I come back later and pass the religion check. There's a 34 religion check. I couldn't pass it even with a nat 20, unfortunately. So yeah, and then we run into this guy over here, Theruk Nul. He seemed like an easy fight, right? He just seemed to be on his own over there. And I attacked him, and, well, these guys over here appeared. And all they do is they just repeatedly they spam Dominate Mind. So if you don't have protection from evil or some way to avoid being dominated, it's impossible, basically, because they dominate everything. Even the undead and even your skeletons and everything get dominated, or they dominate you and then you kill your own skeletons. It's horrible. But I use protection from evil, protection from chaos, and then he can't dominate anymore, and it's a pretty easy fight. After that, you can open up the wall in there, and there's like a vampire in there lying in a coffin that you can just kill. I have no idea what the purpose of that is. He just dies. I don't know if that's like his phylactery or something, or I have no idea, honestly. After that, right, further on in, we run into more demons. Surprise, surprise, this whole place is just infested with them. So it's not surprising. I ended up dying there. It does take a few attempts to take these guys down because there are just so many of them here. And there are Nabasu in there as well, which drain levels. So make sure you have Death Ward. Otherwise, you're going to lose, a lot of stats and levels. We are able to take them down without too much trouble. Eventually, having Razor Fiend just stand there and tank all the guys in the doorway, while the rest of the party just hangs back and relaxes. Here, right, proceed further down and run into our good friend Joran Vhane here. Unfortunately, he's sticking with his brother. He's not willing to turn to the light. He knows it's wrong, but he blood is thicker than water for him. And you could see there, right, I had the option to, so he didn't forget about Radiance. You can, if you have Radiance on you, he will give you, it gives you the scabbard for Radiance, which basically equates to a +1. It goes from a +1 to a +2 when he upgrades it. And he proved to be a bit of a tough encounter for me, so the way I handled, there are better ways to do this. Don't do what I did here. This is horrible, horrible, horrible. There are definitely better ways of doing this. So I noticed there the bookshelf here is a solid object, and you can kite him around the bookshelf, and look at that. I just have everyone standing there shooting at him and casting spells while I lead him around the bookshelf in circles, and it is stressful AF because he basically runs the same speed as you. So if you make any mistakes and he hits you, you're dead. Like, he hit me once and it took me down to, you can see how much health I lost there. If he hits me again, I'm basically done. But thankfully I'm able to maintain my sanity and able to maintain my focus and lead him. Look at this. Look at what I'm doing here. Look at the clicking, manually clicking around in circles while Ember just stands there laughing. It's pretty ridiculous. But we take him down. Then we head over here further on in, and yeah, there's an interesting guy over here. Let me tell ya. Down there, down this path over here. So we open the door, head on into here. We can see some ritual going on, right? We can see a ritual going on. Have no idea what this is, but we triggered it. So by seeing it, we triggered it. And it spawns Blightmaw over there. And you can see stats, level 18, huge, 49 AC. His saves are not ridiculous, but he hits like a freaking truck and he moves super fast. So I tried this guy a bunch of times. And what I discovered is you can actually interrupt the ritual. So if you kill any of the casters that are required for the ritual to complete, it interrupts. And instead of spawning him, the guy who was summoning him, the main dude here, gets really angry and he's like, I'm gonna kill you instead. And so then and he's fast. He's the Usain Bolt of demons here. He's super fast. So he's really no easier than Blightmaw. I mean, he's easier than Blightmaw, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, not appreciably so. So I skipped that fight, and let me tell you, so I went back to Blightmaw like 50 times. Not right now. This time I tried him maybe like 5 or 10 times, and then every time I progress a bit, I go back and try him again using different tactics, and it's fail. But you're not going to see any of that. You're just really going to see when I actually succeed on him. So you're not going to see the failures, which were many. And I don't know what this is. So you can open up a secret wall there and pass a lore check to light up a statue. I don't know what that does. I wasn't able to figure out what that was for. But what you can see the Minotaurs here. I don't really have a lot in my kit left. So what I'm hoping is I can, I just wanted to see what was beyond them and if they were worth doing. And so you can see I ran with Arushale, she got seen, but then we run into old Yaniel over here, who I did not know this was here. Like, this is pure luck. Pure luck. And then I run Arushale past Yaniel, and I'm like, yeah, am I going to survive this? Am I going to survive this? And I survive it. I see I'm able to save there, and you can see I have no idea where I am, but yeah. I'm in an interesting looking room here. I'll come back to it later, but look at this. Yaniel died and she dropped some of the best loot on any mob that I've ever seen. She gave no EXP, but I'm still using the stuff that she dropped. Right, level 13 armor class plate armor, a +4 ring of armor, and a +4 neck of natural armor, which, yeah, way better than what I had. So that significantly improved my tanking capability on Razor Fiend. But the issue with it is, right, so now Arushale is stuck down there, and the rest of my party is up here. I couldn't load the old save because now I've picked up that stuff, right? I picked the stuff up off Yaniel, and I don't want to load the old save or I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to have to go get it again after killing these guys. So I figured, well, let's just keep Arushale down there. Let's keep the gear that we got, and that should allow us to pass this. So you can see what I did there, right? I left all my summons on the second guy and ran away because they were about to die and we were not going to kill this thing, the Prophet of Baphomet. They're so tough. Their nukes are just ridiculous, and they hit super hard, and yeah, it's not a fun fight. If you have fire resist stuff, it'll make a big difference, especially if you cast it on your skeletons. But I hadn't figured that out by this point. So we take out the Prophet of Baphomet, proceed on further, and then I'm like, oh, this seems easy. Okay, we're about to have a nice reunion with Arushale, but nope, they're just undead. And I thought that first set of undead was all of them, but no, this is a long encounter here. It took a lot of attempts to get it down. So what I opted to do in the end was, because it isn't even only undead here, so you may think this is dumb, because using the doorway to fight them is smart, right? Because then you block. The issue is the undead are not all that you have to deal with here. So after the undead, some Nabasu spawn in, and one of them is really strong. I think there are 2 or 3 of them that spawn in, and yeah, they're tough to deal with. And then in addition to just the regular melee undead, they're ranged undead. So using corners is much better, because then you can pull them into melee range here. So you can see what I did. Right, I actually ended up dying here, unfortunately, but I had a save file where you could see I ran out here, and I managed to save here. So using that file, we're able to come back in, pull the remaining undead, and yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Because we got the ranged ones before the melee ones showed up, which is amazing. And Darren comes in super clutch here, being able to, you can see some of the running past Razor Fiend because I'm not perfectly blocking the doorway here, so one is able to run by, but Darren's channel negative energy just destroys it, which is amazing. And then you can see, right, the Nabasu, they're not part of the undead pack technically. They don't share the same aggro table, and so that's why they stayed down here even when I was fighting the undead. So they spawn kind of near when the last few undead die, and they'll generally aggro you at the same time because you'll be standing in this doorway here, and then, you know, when they spawn, they aggro immediately, but by running up there, you prevent that from happening. So you can run up there, you know, avoid aggro from the Nabasu, get all set up right after that huge undead pack, and then come down and deal with them when you're good and ready. Right, so then we loot all this stuff up here. It's a pretty decent shield, Bastion of Lion's Heart. But it's a tower shield. I don't have tower shield mastery. Sela has it, but yeah. So then we head on back down to this room, and it's a puzzle room, so, you know, it took me a while to figure it out, because, you know, the spinners all spin at different rates, and different spinners spin when you interact with those knobs. But I'm able to figure it out without too much trouble in the end. But I didn't know this was going to happen. So I figure it out, and then it's surprise. The game's like, surprise, here you go. Here's your prize for figuring out that pretty tough puzzle. Yeah, you're about to get destroyed. So what I opt to do is, initially I'm like, well, maybe we can just skip the puzzle. Can we just maybe dodge the traps here? But no, you cannot dodge the traps here. They just fire repeatedly. They're unending. And if you do happen to dodge the traps, like I could dodge them on Razor Fiend, but the chest gets destroyed. So what I opt to do instead is I have my Dino. See, he's super useful because now Lan is gone. He's been replaced by our succubus friend here. And so he's basically our doggo, sacrificial doggo. And so we use him to solve the puzzle and spawn the enemies in, and then we're able to do this, right? Dismissal with Darren. He has 6 charges of dismissal. It's just save scumming until we get dismissals off. So there are 5 of them. I dismissed 1 of them, and now I use Ember and Darren, right? So Ember's going to cast Evil Eye, and Darren's going to cast Dismissal. But unfortunately, what happens after those 2 is the last 3 are out of range. So the main guy, he's in range, but he disappears. So I cast it on him, but he went invisible when I reloaded the game. And then the other 2 are out of range for dismissal. And look at that. So I had all those summons up there. You may think this is a failed attempt, but this is actually the successful attempt here. I had all those summons there ready to go, and they just got one-shotted by him. He just cast 1 fireball, and it killed everybody, almost killed my whole party as well. But, yeah, we're able to take him out without too much trouble here, thankfully. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but they drop like nothing. They give like no EXP. It's such a... I hate it. It's yeah, really devs. And then look at this, right? So you loot up this spear here, and then boom, Sword of Valor. It's like, hell yeah, Sword of Valor. I thought the Sword of Valor was actually a sword, not just a banner, but I guess it's a banner. And then right after you loot up the sword, it's like, hey, who's making that noise? And then immediately into combat, and this game is just, look at that. Look at that. Are you serious? Game. So what I opt to do instead is I'm like, okay, instead of that, what we're gonna do is we are going to fight the guys up here. So there's another. I did loot the Sword of Valor down there. How I looted it was I used a Ruchelet to loot it up, and run away. That way, those guys are spawned down there, but they're not. They didn't attack. So thankfully, a Ruchelet, right, with the Greater Invis, she's able to loot all that stuff up. No problemo. And then you come up here to this Sword of Valor, and yeah, you click on this Sword of Valor up here, and then this happens. I mean, come on. Are you like, Owlcat are seriously sadistic AF. Look at, what is this? What is this? So, you know what? I'm not one to turn down a challenge. So what I opt to do is I'm like, okay, I'm going to move my entire party out of this room. I'm going to have a Ruchelet trigger that Sword of Valor. So she's going to come here, trigger it, and then she won't get seen, right? She has Greater Invis on. The demons are just going to spawn and stand there. And we bring her back. She's able to sneak by, thankfully. She's able to get by those Brimracks there and everything. And boom, then we have our whole party together again, and we are ready to proceed. So you can see what we've done here. I've cast a bunch of resist. You can see the resist fire on Razor Fiend. So he's just baiting out the nukes, and yeah, after that it's pretty straightforward. The issue is this is, again, one of those encounters that just keeps on giving, right? It's not just the Brimracks and the Babaus. After that, you get an Elder Vrock here. And, yeah, he's a pretty nasty encounter. Elder Vrock and Vrock. But, you know, we're able to take him down, thankfully. Following that encounter, we are back down here to the real Sword of Valor's room, where we take these guys out using summons, right? We rest it up outside. You have an unlimited number of rests, which is very nice. There's no corruption. Corruption doesn't go up when you rest, and the campsite right outside is unlimited. You can use it an unlimited number of times. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass running out there, so you gotta run all the way back to the entrance and go all the way back to Irabeth, and it's a huge pain. But, you know, it's really, there's no way to get through here on a single rest. Literally no way. If I wasn't able to rest, yeah, that would have been the end for me. Once we take those guys out, we head outside and boom, Angel Mythic Path finally unlocked. I'm skipping through this convo here because I did read it before. This is like the 5th time I came up here because I kept respecking. But this is the final respec. So after that, we run into Arilu Vorlash, the Architect of the World Rune, and she shows us some insight into our past and all that stuff, and she's taking an interest in us. And then it's straight into combat after that again, but you can see the demons just got wrecked. And yeah, this is easy. I wish it was this easy going forward, but it really isn't. After that, we do head on back over here to Blightmaw, and this time what we opt to do is, boom, Blightmaw saving throw failed. So he failed slumber saving throw, and now it's time to try out our coup de grace on him. And really this only works because the banner is unfurled now, so the banner really allows you to do this. So I wouldn't recommend doing Blightmaw until after you unlock your mythic paths there. Because that -4 to everything really makes it possible. Look at that, 10,368 EXP for a single kill. There's the sound of me taking a screenshot. And they're proud of that kill, because you guys are only seeing, what, like 3 attempts on Blightmaw? I tried this guy like 100 times in 100 different ways. From summons to kiting to slumber initially, to killing spells, to just CC, you know, his will save is not, his reflex save isn't super high, it's like 22, and yeah, nothing worked until the Sword of Valor banner unfurled. So after taking Blightmaw down, we head back in the right direction here. We head up this tower, and I'm just deleting old save games here. Look how many save games I have. And yeah, head up the tower. And the second you loot this chest here, some nasty stuff spawns. So I did run up this tower initially, so I do know it's going to spawn. That's why you can see I'm summoning skeletons here. You loot them, these Coloxus mobs spawn, and they drain stats, right? They drain charisma per hit. You can see I'm getting absolutely destroyed by them. And they stun. Yeah, they're a pretty nasty bunch, honestly. Yeah, we just get annihilated. So what I opt to do is, yeah, I ran all the way back and camped, and then got all my spells back, and now I have my paladins up here as well. Not my paladins, but my devas and all that, and I'm able to take them down with good old-fashioned summons. Yeah, you can see that it ran off Razor Fiend, it got bored, ran onto the back line, but boom, we got him anyways. Head back down to the base of the tower, and there's, yeah, more nasty encounters over here. You can see Prophet of Baphomet again, that just deletes. Look, it's just one-shotting everything. But the good thing about this is they damage themselves, or damage each other as well. And so most of the humanoids, the cultists, get killed by the Prophet there, and kill each other. It's just the Prophet that's left alive. Or, no, sorry, the half-furious Minotaur, half-fiend Minotaur. It's not the Prophet that did all the damage. It's the Cultists that did the damage to themselves. There's no Prophet of Baphomet there. And yeah, then there's more encounters here, which are pretty nasty. Honestly, these Omoxes things. In the end, what I had to do was I ran away with... I ran back to the entrance, had to camp, and yeah. Had to get my pet back so he could pull everything to us, and then the reason I'm pulling them over here is because now we can use the stairway as kind of a choke point. And you can see only one Omox is able to attack at a time, and I'm just summoning everything on the stairway and shooting down at them from up here. And it works. Using our summons, we're able to get them down. We proceed on through here, through this abandoned shrine or destroyed shrine. And yeah, we're nearing the end of this grand adventure, or at least Act 2. And this is the last fight before the pain train here. So it's a tough fight. I don't have a lot available to me here. You could see I only had one set of summons. I didn't know what to expect here, but yeah, it was well beyond what I was ready for, well beyond what I was expecting. And yeah, as you can expect, it didn't go so well. It didn't go so well at all. That last stand ability on Razor Fiend is amazing. Being able to tank for 2 turns, even when you're dead, is just, it's so useful. It's ridiculous. And so we ran away, and we came back after resting up again, because we needed more summons. I only had one set of summons left by the time I got up here. So we've come back with all our summons, and now, yeah, we're able to pretty much take them down. It's still not an easy fight at all. You can see definitely want to keep fire resist up. I didn't have lightning resist there, but Darren's able to heal us, keep us all alive with his channel positive energy, and yeah, we take him down. And then this is the bedroom. This is in Act 3. That's basically your bedroom. That's where you rest back at base camp. And yeah, here are Minagho and Staunton Vhane. For this, I'm going to show this in an interesting way. So yeah, we just going through the conversation here. It's nothing too crazy. I wish there was some way to redeem Staunton Vhane. I'm guessing if you're one of the other mythic paths, maybe Aeon or something like that, you may be able to redeem him, but it's not really an option for me. Or maybe if you're a demon or something, you can redeem him. But yeah, not an easy fight. Babaus, Staunton, Minagho, and the traitor's gnome, whatever her name is also there, buffing everybody up as well. I'm so sad. But look at that. Look how much damage. Look at how much damage they do. This doesn't give you an idea of how much damage Minagho does. Minagho is ridiculous. If you had to kill Minagho in this fight, if you couldn't just kill Staunton and win the fight here, it would be... Look at how much damage she does. Look at that. She just one-shotted everything in like one round of attacks. Okay, so here I'm fast-forwarding through all my attempts at 100x speed. So this is 100x speed right now. Just going through every attempt that I tried and basically everything in between. So, summons, all that good stuff. Running back to the entrance, healing up, everything that I tried to get this fight down. And yeah, this will give you an idea of how difficult this encounter was. I didn't want to, I didn't want to make this episode longer than it had to be. It's already going to be, 35-ish minutes, which is more than 30 minutes. I was trying to keep it at 30, but yeah, wouldn't work here. And I really didn't want to cut this footage completely, just because I want to give you guys an idea of how much I struggle here. Because recently, you know, when I've been making episodes recently, cutting them down to 30 minutes means that you really don't see the struggle. You really only see like one failed attempt maybe, and then you see the successful attempt, which is great. But it just doesn't give you an idea of the pain that I have to go through. Look at this. I've turned my settings down here because I'm trying to... It's getting laggier and laggier and laggier. And in the end, I have to restart the game because it just takes so long to do anything. It's just super... There, you can see I restarted the game because it's just so laggy at this point with all the summons and spell effects and everything going off. It's hilarious. It was just ridiculous. Even with the settings turned down, it wasn't going any faster. And then we get this. And we get this attempt here. Right? Attempt over 4 hours later.
For years you
Attempt number like 100 or something. I don't even know what attempt number this is. And look at that. Razor Fiend immediately basically dead here. But look at the utter chaos. Look at the absolute chaos that is going on in here. Right? And boom, we transition Staunton Vhane to phase 2. And then Minagho abandons the fight, which means it's much easier. Now let me tell you this, I got to phase 2, I want to say at least like 7 or 8 times, but Staunton killed me in phase 2 every single time. He does a lot of damage, but this time we're able to do it, right? So getting to phase 2 isn't tough, just having stuff left by the time you get to phase 2 is the problem. So I used turn-based mode there, right? Staunton would have one-shotted Razor Fiend. If Razor Fiend had been... You could see... Look at that. Look at that. The area of effect from the magic missiles took Razor Fiend down. And it would have killed him. Like, one hit would have killed Razor Fiend there, and that would have been the attempt done. But thankfully, Arushale just annihilated Staunton there. And then it's just Nurah left, who's really... She's nothing. She's a joke. She ain't got shit on Staunton or Minagho. And we take him down. And yeah, that is that for this attempt. Just proof in the pudding. Unfair. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Unfair, baby. Yeah. So that was rough. That was ridiculously rough. Some nice loot on both of them. Nothing that I could really use here. I ended up giving the thing to Social, the weapon to Social, and the armor to Sela, because my armor's better. Has more armor class. And then, right, we talked to Nurah. She's not dead, apparently, after that. We put her in jail, and yeah, we're just equipping everyone with our new elite loot, right? Soulshare, pretty nice, but nobody really to use it. Social's weapon, but we don't really use Social. After that, right, talk to Queen Galfrey, flirt with her a bit, she gives us a ring of protection and all that good stuff. And right, Irabeth is back to her old self. And then yeah, that is essentially right, setting up Act 3 now. I can't believe we did it. I cannot believe I managed to get through Drezen. 21 hours, boys. 21 hours from start to finish. Absolute brutality. I'm just glad to be done. And Act 3 is a lot of fun. I've been playing it for a bit now. When we pick up again, we're going to be into Act 3. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you all in the next one.